All right, now that I centered my isometric drawing, it's time to actually make the drawings. So we're always going to start with a brick, and then we're going to cut out what we don't need. So when I centered it, I have the bottom line right here. So we're going to start by making this line or this rectangle or really parallelogram right here. So in an isometric drawing, check it out. Anything that's straight up is straight up. So all my lines that are vertical are still vertical. Bam, if I had it centered, you can see anything that's vertical is vertical, right? Anything that comes off in this plane is 30 degrees. So 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees. Anything that's this way, 60 or 30 degrees the other way, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees. So I'm going to start by making this guy. So this is going to be the bottom. So remember, I came up on these guys, it was 2 inches tall. So on each of these guys, I'll make a light line. I'll make a light line straight up. And then I'm going to measure 2 inches and 2 inches. So this guy, 2 inches. This guy, 2 inches. So 2 inches, 2 inches. I can darken those in. So make sure my T-square is against the edge. So 2 inches straight up. 2 inches straight up. And then if I did it right, these guys would connect. See like how it connects straight across top to top? Bam. So now I have 2 inches, 5 inches, 5 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, anything straight up, straight up, straight up. So now I'm going to go in and I'm always going to start with a brick. But when I look at this, I know I need the bottom, but I don't need the whole top. So I'm going to make this line super light. Okay, so remember the width was 3 inches. So I'm going to come with this guy. I'm going to flip it. And I'm going to make a line that's at least 3 inches, super light. Line that's at least 3 inches, super light. Now I'm going to measure 3 inches. 3 back to 0. So 3 inches is right here on this guy. 3 inches is right here. And then I'm going to combine them straight up and down. So when I look at it, I need this whole line I can darken, and I need this whole line I can darken, but this guy I don't want to darken. I don't need the whole line. So I'm going to go make my line, flip it. My T-square is all the way against the edge, 30 degrees. Bam. So now I have these guys. I always start with a brick. That's going to be by far the easiest. So now I'm going to pretend this is a brick. I have this line. I'm going to make this line and this line. Okay. So I can measure, but the easiest way is I move my T-square up, right? Place this guy right here. Bam. So I made a light line at 30 degrees. I flip it. I'm going to make a light line where this guy ended at 30 degrees. So if I did it correctly, this guy should be 5 inches. This guy should be 3 inches. 3 inches, 5 inches. So yeah, did it correctly. So now I can see what I need to darken in. I can't darken this in. It's not all of there, but I can darken this guy in. So I'm going to come in. Bam. Bam. So now I have an isometric brick, except this is light and this is light. We always start with a brick, and then we start cutting out what we don't need. So now, remember, half an inch, half an inch, half an inch, half an inch. These guys were all half an inches. So now I can go in and darken those in. So along this guy, I can mark half an inch from the edge right here. From this guy, half an inch right here. From this guy, half an inch right here. And from this guy, half an inch right here. So now I can darken those 4 lines in. Yeah, 30 degrees, half an inch, half an inch, half an inch, half an inch. Bam. Now I can flip this guy around 30 degrees the other way, right? I'm just going to combine my end of my half an inch. Combine this guy, bam. Combine this guy. So now I have these two, bam, bam. So now I'm going to come in, I'm going to make this V right here. So I don't know what the angles are, but I know that, remember, my V was halfway out. So it was 1.5 inches out and half of an inch up. So I'm going to find out where is that on my drawing. So 1.5 out, half an inch up. So on this guy, I'm going to start by figuring out where is my 1.5. So it was 3 inches altogether, right? So 1.5. So I have 1.5 is right here. That's right in the middle, 1.5. And then it was half an inch up. So I'm going to make a super light line straight up. And then I'm going to measure half an inch. Bam. Bam. Okay, I don't want to darken. So this right here, this spot, 1.5 inches out, half an inch up, is the bottom of my V right here. So I don't know what the angle is, but I know that it starts here, ends here, starts here, ends here. So now I can come in. I'm just free floating this guy. It starts right here, ends right here, bam. Starts right here, ends right here, bam. So here's my V going that way. Now I'm going to do the same here. But notice I don't have this line. So I'm going to come out first. I'm going to make a super light line. Super light along this guy. I'm going to measure out. So basically, if it was see-through, I'm making the mirror image of this guy over here. So 30 degrees, bam, out this way. And I'm going to measure half the width, or 1.5 inches. So I put it 1.5 back to 0. Bam, right here. So that's 1.5 inches out, bam, and then it was half an inch up. So I'm going to come in, make a super light line, and I'm going to go half an inch up. Bam. So it's basically right below this edge. So this would be, if I could see through it, it's the opposite end of the V on this side. So check it out. Again, I'm going to go from the bottom of this guy over to this edge, bottom here over to that edge. So this is the bottom of it, right? So there's no such thing as dashed lines in an isometric drawing. If I can see it, I can see it. And if not, it's just behind. So starting at the V, goes to this edge. Part of it is going to be hidden behind this. So I only see this part of it. When I go to this guy, see, it's all hidden behind this guy. I don't see it at all. No dash line. So now I have my isometric drawing. I'm going to clean up my extra lines. So my guideline right here, I can get rid of. This line, I don't need anymore. Bam. This guy, I don't need anymore. This guy, I don't need anymore. This guy and this guy. Bam. So now I have an isometric representation of this block right here. Bam. So if we centered it correctly, if we did everything correctly, this distance and this distance should be the same. So let's see, I have little more than half an inch. Ooh, I have a little less than half an inch. So when I centered it, I wasn't like exactly on it. It's a little bit down from where it should be. From this edge to here is 1.5 inches. From this edge to right here is 1.5 inches. So it's centered correctly this way. On this way, I'm like 1/8 of an inch down. But, you know, that goes with the territory. So making an isometric drawing. So remember, everything is 30 degrees. If my triangle is against it, right? Against the edge, or my T-square. So 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees. If I flip it around, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees. So everything isometric, 30 degrees. Bam. So making an isometric drawing.